Aloha Global Family. This is Miss Unity Grace here for the 11:44 love stream, as promised, in alignment with Shane Shima, who's in beautiful Arizona, Sedona, working the vortexes of the crystal cities in relation to planetary system of Lyra, emissaries of Lyra. My goodness, we have been working on this for a long time. And so tonight Shane asked me to do a love stream for many reasons, and to share some light language that we have been picking up the codes with and for a long time. Wow, look at all you amazing beings joining. Sheldon and John Kennedy and Barbara and Ishta. We rock. We just can't miss a destiny appointment, can we? How cool is this? Right. All right, I'm back. So, where shall we begin? Well, because Mr. Shane asked me to do this, I'm going to tune in for a moment, as a good oracle would, as we all show up on time. Esther, Harlan, Ramona, Marie. Oh my gosh, look at all you beauties. We are really good at this. Tonight, the invitation is to sing under the moon, and yes, other places on the earth, they got to view the lunar eclipse today. I'm Pacific time, Pacific coast, on the beautiful island called Vancouver Island, where the codes of Albion are stored, the codes of Avalon. The codes of Avalon are the codes of Unio Mystica, the divine union, that twin flame physics within all of us that are active now, fully activated. And on the earth plane, the codes were stored here, the sleeper grids. And so the invitation tonight is for all of us to, whether it's daytime or nighttime, wherever you are, dance in celebration of what this truly means, this longest lunar eclipse of the century. As we know, the poles have been shifting on the planet for a long time. So much so that runways, the navigational lines on runways had to be rewritten in many places. And so as the poles neutralize, because that's what's occurring, the consciousness is liberated from the poles, two-strand DNA. And that's why we're all experiencing such epic and profound and amazing transformation. And hi, Bill Russell. I don't usually get focused on names, but tonight I'm getting better at this love streaming thing. And look at all you beautiful people. Here we all gathered. We're going to ignite our voices and our light language, because we can. And so today on the earlier love stream, I talked about the Sophionic Harmonic, and what the guidance is showing this is subtle energy. Dr. Bill, you would understand subtle energy quite well. We are attuning, as we're releasing the carbon in our DNA, we are attuning to subtler frequencies, the crystalline frequencies within us. And those crystalline frequencies allow us to connect into more expansive planes of consciousness. And Richard Rudd speaks about it in the 60th gene as the triple helix. And that he explains the triple helix is connected to the structure of creation itself. And so, as we all know, we are vast interdimensional, multidimensional beings, and we are reclaiming those gifts and skills. And the most profound way that it is occurring through us, obviously, is vibration, the vibration of sound. And as I've shared many times, sound can just be the breath. We don't even have to use our voice, but wouldn't it be fun to use our voice? Because we can. And so I was guided to grab my Keys of Enoch book. This book by J.J. Hurtak, because many people are activating their light languages now, and there's a great piece in here that explains light language. And so for people who maybe are still feeling intimidated to allow these languages to come through them, I was just guided to pull out this little description. It's key 110 in the Keys of Enoch, and it explains it so well. Let me find it. Hang on. Yes. All right. So I'm going to read a little bit from this beautiful book, The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak. And this might help people who are still feeling a little bit intimidated by their light languages, but to understand that it's the natural coding within us. First there was sound, and it wasn't English. No. Sound is beyond English, which of course we know. Okay, so he says, the key languages connecting mind-time warps to interconnecting civilizations and manifestations of higher evolution in our time zone are Egyptian, Hebrew, Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Chinese. We are told in this key that if we interconnect the languages of Egyptian, Hebrew, Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Chinese, we will be mentally interconnected with civilizations representing the higher evolution. Your light language, my light language, is real and natural. Oh my goodness, a little rat just ran by. What beautiful symbolism. Rats are so intelligent. He ran like right by the couch. I think it's because I made popcorn tonight, and popcorn smells good to a little rat, so maybe I'll just put it up on the couch here. Hang on. Thank you, little rat, for joining us. So intelligent. He's like, oh my God, these human beings are catching on. I'm not going to put traps out and horrible poison for us anymore. They're going to become our friends. Okay, so let me go on here. Okay, Enoch carefully instructed me to use the languages of Egyptian and Chinese to unify all the biochemical languages working horizontally in the human body. At the same time, I was instructed to use Sanskrit and Tibetan fire letters to unify all the biochemical languages working vertically in the human body. Finally, I was instructed to use the Hebrew 5 fire letters, sacred energy sounds, and thought forms of light to connect with the intelligences of the Pleiades and Orion. Unifying all crystalline languages, subtle energy, Sophionic Harmonic, of the third eye, I call it the first eye, so as to open the template of the mind for the eternal light. So when I started speaking my light language, it was when I was asked by the Hopi, my Hopi elder, to carry Hopi corn to South America, to invite the Condor Nations to fly with the Eagle Nations again. And I was also asked by my Rochelle Grid group, who work the Rose Lines, Maya Nartumid and Bill Bueller and Edie Skywalker, I was given the honor of carrying a sacred crystal skull, Atula Shilima, who carried the codes of the ancient Lemurian priestess who reincarnated as Mary Magdalene, according to Thoth. So when I carried the corn and the crystal skull, that's when the guidance told me that I was allowed to speak my light language in this planetary system. And the guidance explained that had I spoken it earlier, it would fry human circuitry. And God knows many things that have come out of my mouth over the years have been on the cutting edge, shall we say. So, yes, I had to refrain to use it until then. And in fact, in 2012, I was told that I couldn't speak publicly until after the August 21st, 2017 solar eclipse, which has now passed. Thank goodness. Because what was coming through my mouth, consciousness was just not quite ready for it. So what I discovered about my language, light language according to the guidance, is it's this part. Enoch said that if all 5 languages were used simultaneously, they would activate the pictographic communication of the brotherhood within the brain. They would create a mental time warp and quicken the light body over self to dome within the human vessel of consciousness experience. These languages form a grid connecting the higher I am consciousness of light with the human I am consciousness of light through a cosmic light vibration. Spiritual man is to understand that this grid is formed by the languages which create horizontal Egyptian Chinese and vertical Sanskrit Tibetan energy patterns. These in turn are activated by the divine vector Hebrew created by the focused light force and by imprinting of the divine fire letters for energy sounds. Open the vertical and horizontal grid. So there's these things called axiotonal grids, and the axiotonal grids are the grids that basically connect all the levels of consciousness that exist within, you could say, the Sophionic Harmonic of creation. This subtle energy matrix, MATRICE, which Richard Rudd speaks 111 viewers. Cool. Which Richard Rudd speaks about in the 22nd gene. Not matrix. Matrix. Difference. Matrix was artificial. Created by things like HARP and CERN and all those other things. And so we're going back to the organic matrix of creation itself. And what I was saying earlier today is that Sophia is not feminine or masculine. What the guidance is explaining is that the Sophionic Harmonic is subtle energy. And so we have to find that within ourselves. We don't have to do anything. But the invitation is to find it within ourselves, which is why these times are taking many of us deeper into stillness and silence, sitting in the resonating cavity of nature itself. Because the earth is sending out a tonal harmonic that our hearts, our Heart Math Institute has shown us that the earth has a heartbeat called the Schumann resonance. And our hearts beat with the Earth's heartbeat, and her heartbeat is shifting and changing, which we know it's verified, and by science, if we need that kind of verification. So, yes, the Sophionic Harmonic is accessible within all of us, and it comes through in a unique way within all of us because each one of us is a unique snowflake of creation. The invitation is to take time each day in the miracle, to go within the self in nature, because nature is singing the subwoofer tone to help us come into alignment such that these caterpillar bodies that we currently are can go through the evolutionary quantum leap that we are in the process of doing. And right now, leading up until the beginning of November, big transfiguration within. So, okay, I'm going to listen for a moment. What's next? Okay, so the guidance just really wanted to have that little portion in the Keys of Enoch shared because it's so well written to help us understand these light languages that are coming through for people that may still feel a bit intimidated by using their beautiful light language. On the other hand, there are many, many people who are allowing it to flow through them now. We are a choir tuning up. We are an orchestra tuning up right now. And this is all about the activation of the music of the spheres. So if we listen to a chorus of crickets, they sing in balance, in harmony together. And that's what humans are about to learn to do again. Okay, so next part of the transmission. 4 years ago at this time in linear time, I completed a 5-month walkabout on the grids, on the guidance, and it was about unlocking the consciousness from the patriarchal energies that we were bound to based on the patterns that were resonating in the waters of our DNA. And so many of us had our own guidance, and mine was very specific around the planet to do specific things to help unplug us from that consciousness. And at the end of that 5-month walkabout, I was being brain mapped while doing a meditation, being brain mapped by a very dear friend of mine, Dr. Jeff Fannin. And during the brain map, there was this piece within me that wanted to connect with the love that gives me life, the source that gives me life. There was a power that was coming through me that was unstoppable to connect with that love again. It was like the space within me wanted to connect with the space of the quantum field. And so while I was in the meditation, I experienced what I would describe as omniscience and omnipotence, and the whole universe suddenly existed inside of me, and I was the container. And I knew it was a very profound experience I was having because it was more real than here. And I say that I was shown the entire Rolodex of creation, and I was shown the mechanics of creation. And why am I sharing all of this? There's a purpose. And it's fun and exciting. It has to do with all of us. When I had the experience, I saw myself on a stage, and I looked to my left, and there was Nako Bear, and he smiled at me and winked, and I looked to my right, and there was Xavier Rudd, and he did the same thing. And then I panned away, and the whole stage was filled with an eclectic group of musicians and artists and dancers and all shapes, sizes, and colors of people, all races. And where were we? We were at Red Rocks Theatre. So, I love that theatre. I know this moment is coming, and so does Mr. Todd Medina. However it plays out in this reality. Anyways, so I pulled back from the scene, and I realized that I could instantaneously be above Nako Bear, below Nako Bear, behind Nako Bear, and it was like he was suspended in space. It was completely unique of anything my consciousness has ever experienced. And then I panned back, and I saw all of us on stage, and I saw this huge global event to activate everyone on the earth to sing together as one. And I saw every single moment of the experience in a line. And every single moment of the experience was suspended in space. And I moved closer to Nako, and suddenly I realized that if I reached out my finger and touched him, the entire timeline was going to activate, like do 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 do. And it did. And I touched it. And the whole timeline, like a wormhole or a rabbit hole, activated. And I knew in that moment that I had the opportunity to jump into that rabbit hole. Hi, Sandal Feezy. I see you there. I'm so excited to see you there. I knew that if I chose to jump down that rabbit hole, that experience would actually happen for me in the physical. And guess what? I chose to jump down that rabbit hole and come back here. And when I came out of the brain map experience, I was in tears, and my dear friend Jeff Fannin was in tears, because we knew something very special had been captured. And so here we are, the night of the longest lunar eclipse. Even though it's already occurred, we're in the window and time isn't real anyways. But these occurrences in the external reality are indicators to us of a roadmap of where we are on the journey collectively. And this blood moon lunar eclipse was truly about the end of two-strand DNA, the end of the story of duality, the clearing of the waters within our bodies. Complete, stilled, like a still pond, because we're bodies of water. And so what this means, because the guidance has been saying this to me since February, miracle jubilee, miracle jubilee, miracle jubilee. We're at the time of the miracle jubilee. It's the celebration. And I know that I am here to continue doing these love streams, to invite all of us to activate our voice, our sound, our word, our harmonic. When we speak, it vibrates 8 times. Oh, there's a deer jumping in the night. Just took a big leap. I love this property. When we speak, it resonates 8 times faster inside of our body than it is heard outside of us. So what does that tell us? It tells us something very simple, that our own personal medicine is in our word, our sound. Check that out. How cool is that? Just by speaking or making our own sounds, we can not only heal and transform our external reality, we can activate our supernatural gifts to move in and out of time and space at will, and to think golden apple, produce golden apple in the palm of the hand. Now, on my journey of the grids, I have experienced a lot of miracles. A lot of those miracles I photographed, and I like to share those photographs, because I could have written the story, but I never did, of my journey. But I took photos, because the photographs, oh, there goes the little rat. I should throw him a piece of popcorn. I like rats because I think they're super intelligent. So, stay focused, Unity. Okay, yes. The thing, yes, on my journey, I photograph the journey instead of writing it, because the journey has been filled with miracles, and the photographs have captured some of those miracles. Because if I just told the story of my journey, it would be quite unbelievable, because I activated my 35th gene, love. Taking the adventure and risking it all for love. And Richard Rudd says, right in the 35th gene, for those willing to take the adventure, they will live a life most would equate with a world of fantasy, which has been my journey for 8 years. And the photographs have really helped for people to believe some of the experiences that I've had and shared. So, I have not shared this with many people, but in using my voice, I have watched portals open up before my very own eyes when I have been sent by the guidance to specific places on the grids to activate them, to pray with water, and to sing. Walking through the forests many, many nights on this journey alone in the dark, listening to the song lines to guide me where to go and where to sing, and to witness the gateways, the dimensional gateways, stargates. So, let us all get our beautiful voices activated. What do you say, everyone? Let's all have these experiences together. This is the power of sound. Sound creates form. And like an opera singer who sings a song at a certain pitch, they can shatter crystal. So, when a collective of beings in a planetary system that's ready for ascension unify through sound, which can even be your breath, a unity consciousness breath pattern, you could say, then profound things are going to happen. So, I'm going to share a little song, a little meditation to get us started. And then I'm going to leave the song playing. Oops. And invite all of us to head out under the stars, under this beautiful moon, and let our voices sound out. Let's get the orchestra tuned so we activate this beautiful music of the spheres. What do you say? Let's do it. All right. So, I'm going to play some beautiful music. And let's see if we can get my voice and this music set perfectly. And we'll close our eyes. And I'll share some light language. And I will share something really cool that the guidance showed me just a few days ago to connect into the Sophionic Harmonic. So, I need a technical crew, but I'm doing the best I can with the technology at hand. I will share the little meditation technique. I will share some light language. And then I'll head out under the stars and invite all of us to do the same. And I will tag this song. Let's see, how can I do that? So you can listen to it under the stars. I think I'll have to add it. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds, por favor. I'm going to add it to the love stream. And you can listen to it all night if you like. And to Mr. Shane Shima, who's under the stars, thank you for helping me with so many pieces. Come on, little Wi-Fi. I'm so patient with you. A year ago was a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to put it in under the comments, because my Wi-Fi is making me wait so long. There. Anyone can tune into this song. There we go. Posted it. All right. So, yes, one other piece to share. On the grid path, one of the biggest journeys for humanity was a journey to Egypt last year, and it was to consciously return the double helix and open to receive the triple helix of creation, to give back the victim-victimizer consciousness through the base of the paws on the Sphinx on the 8-8 Lion's Gate, through the gates of Sirius and Orion, where that victim-victimizer consciousness came from, and then to open to receive the triple helix consciously on behalf of all of life, to say we are ready for this good stuff. And Shane Shima, check out his page and his posts, because he's been writing it for a long time, as well as Oriel Trinity and some of the other emissaries of Lyra. Shane helped me to piece together a lot of the pieces of the transmissions that were coming through me. And he told me that I had left something for myself at the back of the Sphinx. And so on the 8-8 Lion's Gate, our group got private permission to be at the Sphinx at the end of the day at sunset. And so these codes tonight in my light language come from then. Because Shane said that I was the high priestess who held the keys of justice. Justice is the 60th gene. So there's something in the light language to be shared that is here to help activate a group of people, because as Richard Rudd says in the 60th gene, when a group embody this, yeah, let me get the perfect wording, just because Richard wrote it so well. The Gene Keys. Richard Rudd. I will just read it so that it's all documented here. Might as well be accurate. And then people who maybe are seeing this who haven't picked up on any of this stuff before. Okay. The 60th gene, cracking of the vessel, and is called justice in the highest frequency. When the 60th CD begins to ignite in multiple beings, it will be the ending of the world as we know it. Everything will be revealed in its truest sense. The laws that hold together the earth will crack, and our planet will begin to transmute. And he goes on to say that when the earth disappears, it will do so suddenly. And all the veils, all the cells that have held the consciousness that we call Gaia together, will move to another reality. And so when I went to Egypt, something about those codes I left for myself at the back of the Sphinx have to do with this justice piece. I just know it because the guidance keeps telling me to round up those and know that they are a part of this activation through the voice, through sound, through word. So let that light language of Egyptian, Sanskrit, Tibetan, Hebrew, Chinese come through. That's what I'm sharing. And may my efforts to help the world in all the ways that I can be received in a joyous way, and may I deliver them in the most humble of ways. In reverence for the benevolence and well-being of all of life throughout all times, places, spaces, dimensions, and beyond. All right, let's get going with this amazing meditation that the guidance showed for connecting into the triple helix. So, we have a high heart. It's our thymus. And in 2015, I fell off my bike and broke my pelvis, and the guidance said my pelvis had to break the seal to release the codes of the Cosmic Mother to come through my voice to help guide humanity through the shift, and that my 9-arc Merkaba was being activated and connected into the 9-arc Merkaba of the Earth. And what the guidance showed recently with the people who came here for a retreat with me a few weeks ago is that the old Merkaba, the one that Drunvelo taught us about, had a 6-pointed star pointing down and pointing up. But what the guidance showed is that the triple helix that we're connecting into is about the 9-arc Merkaba. So in Chinese medicine, they talked about the Dantian as being the center of the body. And then in more recent times, we talk about the heart, the singularity in the heart as being the center of the body. And what the guidance is showing for the 9-arc Merkaba is that the thymus is now where we connect. So we have the Dantian, we have the singularity in the heart, and we have the thymus. And what the guidance showed in the meditation, and we have 2 rainbow serpent lines on the planet, masculine and feminine. And so the masculine and feminine rainbow serpent lines only cross in 2 places on the earth, and you could say that they're the like the major fiber optic cables. There's all kinds of lines on the earth, grid lines, but these rainbow serpent lines are the major masculine, feminine, and they cross at Lake Titicaca and Bali, both places guidance sent me to, and many other grid workers. But what was most cool in the meditation the other day is the guidance said that in order to activate the 9-arc Merkaba through the thymus, we draw the masculine from 2 directions and the feminine from 2 directions. So it's almost like the north, south, east, and west. And so when I was in the meditation, the guidance had me draw the masculine from the left and the right, and the feminine from what you would call the north and the south of the body, or the front and the back. Draw them up the perineum, up the central channel, using the breath, using the intrinsic muscles, bringing them through the heart where they unify. So we're not just working with 2 lines, which is what the traditional way of doing twin flame physics through the heart has been. This is drawing 4 lines of energy up into the singularity of the heart, which then gives us enough cosmic universal power to open the singularity of the heart to then activate the high heart, the thymus, the 8th chakra, controlled from above the head in the energy field, but in the physical body it's right here, the reset valve that naturopaths use. Here's the thymus. And when the energy unified in the heart, it came out through my thymus as a single line of energy. Now, in a lot of pictures of awakening, you'll see people with their head back and their heart sticking out, and Kundalini yoga is about getting the heart sticking out and activated, and Bikram's yoga and back bends and all those things in yoga are about getting the heart out and the head back. That's because when the energy comes through the singularity of the heart, it's going to come through the thymus like that. And that's what activates our 9-arc Merkaba, according to the guidance, and connects us into the triple helix of creation, full of some really cool supernatural stuff to start happening. So we're going to do a little meditation like that, do a little light language, and then head out under the stars to do our song, our word, our sound, our breath. Okay, here we go. So, let's all place our hands on our hearts and close our eyes and start with the meditation and the light language. Technical. Mr. Sandalfisi, I need you here for the technical. Hang on. All right. This beautiful piece, Arcturus, Union Royale with 728 Hertz frequency, and I posted it on the comments. All right, let's see if this works. Eyes closed, hands on our hearts. Oops. Koyashtianatakai. Jeani tianatakoni tiene. Wea kane tianatakono tuchine. Wea tiaru kono kokori tiai. Leanitiaru kukuni. Liaru kono koe chene. And breathe. First inhale of the 4 lines of energy up the central channel, drawing it up with our breath into the singularity of our heart, unifying the rainbow serpent lines of the masculine and the feminine within. Holding it in the heart, feeling the unification of all of life, and releasing the breath. So continue with the breathing, and I will continue with the light language. Continue to draw those 4 lines of energy up into the singularity of the heart, unifying them in the heart and then allowing them in a single channel to come through the high heart. And as they come through the high heart, they birth into a triple helix that reconnects us to the Sophionic Harmonic of creation, the subtle energy where the particle and the wave meet, where consciousness can effortlessly move in and out of form at will. Enjoy the experiences. And I'd love to hear posts tomorrow about what people experience. Okay, back to the breath work. I'm going to keep speaking the light language. The light language reclaimed for justice at the back of the Sphinx on the 88 Lions Gate 2017. Chia no to kuini chai. Veatio kokori ni chia koi. Ono chia chapon chikori chine. koni tia chia rukuni. Bia chia na tia kukoni tia rukue chiari. Maya kore kanichia karenti chia no tu chia ni chiari. Huia bichi ni chia kokore ni chiare. Baya kono tu kukori chiare kuya ne ahru chiani. Koreti. Koretiana chiari. Huiari niki kiaru kukuri. Join in with your voice. Join in, family of light, wherever you are. Join in with your beautiful voice to activate justice, true justice, a global community in the Sophionic Harmonic, the orchestra tuned and ready. Upon the earth. Let us head out now under the stars, knowing that we are all connected. Let's see, there's 135 current viewers. And we know there's many realms viewing with us at this time. So the link is under the comments if you want to keep listening to this beautiful song, 728 Hertz, suggested by Mr. Shane Shima while he's working magic under the stars tonight on behalf of the 144,000 key holders. Activating the Sophionic Harmonic within the longest lunar eclipse of the century, whatever that means. Doesn't really matter, except that we know that something very profound is occurring within us all, called unity, and it occurs through the 22nd gene of grace. And the second gene, which is unity. Shall we all go out under the stars now and sing together with our voices? Never be afraid to let your voice shine. We are so beautiful, especially when we activate the truth of the sound of creation singing through us, just like all the other creatures on the planet, the crickets and the birds and the toads, they all sing together. Isn't it time, human family, we all sang together? I know that vision I had 4 years ago when I had that fabulous experience in brain map. I know it was real. And I know that it's coming. In fact, it's already occurred. We've already sang together as one. And we're just getting to walk through it now together. The Miracle Jubilee. Let us sing and let us keep singing together. Under the stars, meet me there in the beautiful full moon. A very special miracle indeed. We love we. Mwah. Monica and Sue, Sandra and Sharon, is it Irene? Look at all these beautiful beings. Eric, I see Mr. Sandalphon's picture there and Miss Kathleen Boyle's profile picture. Looks like St. Grace, but I thought she was at a festival. There's Ishtar. Eric. So many beautiful beings. Okay, let's go sing under the stars and know that we are all singing together, and let this vibe, let this wave grow. Let us get to Red Rocks and create that global concert where we are all one human family singing together. What do you say? Let's work on this together. And I need some technical expertise because it's not my thing. If I didn't have to concentrate on the technical, then I could really let it loose with the light language. So all you techie experts out there, I need your help. I need it now because this light language is supposed to go with music. All right. We love we. I love you. I know you love me, because you are me. Under the moon we go. Joining hands, joining hearts. Let's sing as one and let this wave grow. And let us know from this moment that we are the inspiration for justice. The dissolution of the veils, the restoration of our birthright home to the tree of love, to play with our supernatural gifts, and close our eyes and go home to the Pleiades for dinner. What you say? Infinite love, reverence and benevolence for the well-being of all of life throughout all times, places, spaces, dimensions, and beyond. And if you like these earrings, they're from my beautiful friend Devon, Wild Abandon. I love her jewelry. Aloha.